welcome back to the channel. I've decided to introduce a new type of content, which is moment. It can vary to many things, but we'll start things off with the most intense rage scenes from 2018 all the way to 2020. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like to show your support, and I'll hopefully bring you more content like this one in the future. Without wasting any more time, boys and girls, let us begin with the video. Okay, now this is such a badass part of Black Clover that I had to include. By the way, all the people who say Black Clover is trash, you might want to rethink what you say about this series, because it's such a fucking good one. This particular rage scene happens quite later on in the series when Asta unlocks his demon form to try to fight against Ladros. The demon that dwells within Asta reminded him of the people who kept telling Asta how much of a loser he is without any magic abilities, and so the rage that kept building into Asta unlocked the demon form. So responding back to Ladros by saying never giving up is my magic was the coolest thing I've ever heard from him. The battle itself was extremely intense, that Ladros couldn't keep up with Asta's speed as he kept closing in on him. With the Queen of Witches assisting him with her powers, Asta manages to defeat Ladros with ease. High School DxD is personally my favorite harem series of all time, even though many say the new season is off due to its quality change. With the art style, I still enjoy it. The rage scene happens when Issei Hyodo unlocks Drake's full potential with his boosted gear. The power was overflowing into Issei and Drake. Together, they were feeling like an unstoppable force. Now, since Issei's enemies hurt his friends, he goes all out on his attacks. Now his rival told him to get stronger than Vali, who is the White Dragon Emperor, with an injured eye from Issei's attack, and wants a worthy challenger to face him. Oh, if you haven't watched High School DxD, then I would recommend you watch it. The show is very similar to a vampires versus human concept. It's done extremely well, and I think it's worth a watch. The rage scene happens after Yuli gets the truth confession from Kreshner, who is one of the vampire bosses in charge of destroying Yuli's home called Dogville. Yuli being the last G-girl alive after everyone died, he now seeks revenge. The true confession reminded Yuli how Dogville burned down and bursted in rage to go full power against Kreshner. Even when Yuli was injured and had a sword through his body, he didn't give up and destroyed his enemy by surprise. A great way to end the battle, and simply, revenge has been accomplished. I personally like Goblin Slayer. I think it's a very solid series despite what a lot of people say about it. The rage moment happens when the gang go into a dungeon to fight off goblins until the big boy, the big boss, appeared and causes some disaster. Not much time until more goblins show up and start overrunning our heroes as some of them get cornered and captured. Meanwhile, Goblin Slayer is heavily beat up and bleeding on the floor. Thinking that he has lost all hope and everything while he's watching his friends get devoured away, he gets up and walks towards the big boy goblin that's holding one of his team members. He then starts strangling him with hair until the boss retreats along with the other goblins and thus manages to save his friends in the blink of an eye. Oi, yoku miro yo. Goblin. お前か。うるさいってこと？自分の声が？そんな。The rage scene in Dororo takes place after Yakimaru and Dororo return back to the Sakai camp and witnessing it's actually on fire. A group of bandits invaded their campsite and killed everyone on the camp. Since Mio had a secret job to help the children by making some money, the bandits thought Mio was a spy and thus got rid of her and all the other witnesses around her. Yakimaru bursted in rage after seeing Mio sing her final words to him and started a bloodbath himself by murdering all the bandits. Even though Dororo knows Yakimaru shouldn't murder people, since the more people he kills, he will lose his humanity and turn into an uncontrollable monster. The scene was so brutal, but at the same time extremely sad to witness a moment as this. Seeing Yakimaru show absolutely no mercy to these bandits was one of the greatest revenge moments you could ever ask for. One of my favorite series done by Studio Wit, the scene takes place after Askeladd was captured by Thorkell's men and murdered most of his companions who betrayed him. Thorfinn, returning to see if all was good, he saw that Thorkell was going to kill Askeladd, but rushed down to rescue him since he wanted to be the one to kill Askeladd in a fair duel fight as revenge for his father. There were other intense rage scenes like this one, such as the one where he was a child and swore that he would kill Askeladd on a boat screaming at him. The whole series is purely about revenge and possibly one of the best revenge anime series ever made, and I highly recommend you guys to check this one out.
アシュラットに手を出した。そいつは俺の獲物だ。シャー。
Kimetsu no Yaiba, also known as Demon Slayer, did have one of the best episodes that was so beautifully animated, and it was with one of the battles with Tanjiro against Rui. The rage moment happens when Rui wanted to steal away Nezuko from Tanjiro and keep her as his own sister, but when he tries to hurt her, Tanjiro doesn't allow that to happen and goes full force with one of his powerful breathing techniques to slice the head of Rui. What I love about this scene is that no matter how many times Tanjiro gets beat up badly and bleeding, he doesn't give up and continues to stand. This shows the determination that he's wanting to beat Rui. With the power of the bonding with Tanjiro and Nezuko working together, he manages to slice Rui's head off with a broken sword and claim his victory. The rage scene in The Shield Hero takes place when the gang were tasked to slay the remains of an undead dragon left by the Sword Hero. The smell has been affecting the town and thus the Shield Hero offered to dispose of it. However, it wasn't going to be an easy challenge, since it was still alive, but dead. Philo got caught in the dragon and managed to swallow her, while Naofumi thought that this was the end and thinking that he would lose everything he worked hard for. His anger and despair struck him and thus unlocked a new ability called the Rage Shield, which allowed him to go beyond his power limit but at the same time lose control over himself. As one of my favorite isekai series, I loved how Raphtalia helped Naofumi calm down with her voice reaching his inner self, and that way you can tell their bond is a very strong one. Darwin's Game is a brand new anime that recently just ended with 11 episodes airing in total. It's a pretty good concept of a battle royale killing game series which delivered really well. The rage scene happens when Kaname goes head to head and battles the florist once and for all to show who's the real boss. Basically anything Kaname touches, his sigil's power allows him to replicate that specific object, and so he unleashes a barrage of machine gun shots at the florist to destroy his armor like an absolute mad lad. The florist thought he had a clear opening, but unfortunately was on the floor before he knew it, and Kaname claimed his victory. For me, this was one of the best moments in the show, and if you haven't watched this anime yet, then I highly recommend you to check it out.
Baga! ひっくり返って何言ってやがる!
そうすればお前を殺してやる。
ダメ！リヒト！
黙れ。
The rage scene in Plunderer takes place when an unknown clan dressed in black invaded the town, who then started to capture and kill people on sight. Lish saw an old friend of his named Sonohara who acted completely different but hasn't realized that she was actually brainwashed into killing him. With her being one of the legendary aces along with Lish from 500 years ago during the war, she misses everything about seeing Lish become his true self and the desire to kill. She captured his friends and killed people right in front of his eyes until it drove him mad to finally confront and stop her. But Lish wasn't himself anymore and now kills only the people who get in his way. This was pretty much Lish's hidden power all along, since his numbers increased drastically.
素敵伝わってきます。純粋で曇りのない殺意がようやく殺してくださるんですね。
Raising his power level, and you could see the other characters confused and worried about Lish and had to act fast before he does anything unnecessary. That is pretty much it for this list, boys and girls, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the video overall. And hey, why not drop a comment down below telling me what your personal favorite rage moment is in anime? Anyways, hope you'll enjoy today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. See you later!